Fetch it. All right, I'll show you. Just once more now. You watch. Catch on, Duke? Catch on, boy? Do it once more. Fetch it, Duke. Get it. Come on. Get it. Shucks. You know something, Uncle Jed? That there is a real dumb dog.
Well, I don't think he's so dumb, Jethro. He just learned you how to fetch sticks for him.
But the dog is the one that's supposed to do the fetching. Why, there's a fella down the street that has a dog that fetches sticks for him all day.
Well, next time you want some sticks fetched, go down the street and let that dog fetch them. Just don't care nothing about it.
Top bottle top. Jed, do you want some victuals today?
I do, Granny. I've worked up a right smart appetite fetching sticks for old Duke.
See, Jed, that's the trouble around here. The critters are taking over. Ellie Mae has done made pets out of everything but my pickled turnips. What's we gonna do for victuals?
Hey, I remember something Mr. Drysdale told us when we first moved in here.
What's that?
He said anytime Granny didn't feel like cooking, there was some folks that'd fetch food over to us.
Here in Beverly Hills?
Yes, ma'am. All you gotta do is call them on the telephone and tell them what you want.
Well, doggies. That's mighty neighborly. You recall her name, Jethro?
Let's see. Cater.
We call her first name?
It's a woman. Beverly.
Beverly Caterer?
Must be a widow woman.
They's the best cook, Jed. They have more time.
Well, let's call up the widow and see what she's got cooking today.
Now, just a minute, Jed. I want it made clear that I'm going to do something for her in return.
Oh, naturally. We don't take charity.
Come on, Duke. Let's try it again.
Oh, howdy, Miss Operator. This here is Jed Clampett. Well, I'm wanting to call a widow caterer. Beverly's a Christian name. I don't rightly know what her late husband was called. Anyway, she's the one that cooks the food and takes it around to folks. Yes, ma'am, that's it. Beverly Caterer. Oh, caterers, is it? More than one. Looks like the widow's got some young'uns to help her.
That's good, Jed. Most times they leave home, just when you...
Well, thank you, ma'am. What was that you saying, Granny?
I was saying that most times the young'uns leave home, just about the time that you're...
Well, howdy to you, Miss Beverly Caterer. This here is Jed Clampett. Sounds like a right friendly woman.
Howdy, Beverly, this here's Granny. I'm a widow myself. And I was just saying to Jed, it's nice when the young'uns stay home to help you. So many times they leave, just when you need 'em most.
I'll let you women folks talk about the victuals, but first I just want to say if you ever need a fence mended or a well dug or any heavy work at all, you just call on Jethro and me. Now, here's Granny.
Beverly, what you got on the back of the stove this morning? I don't want to put you to no extra trouble. Huh? Well, me, I'm partial to baked possum, but we'll take jowls or fatback or sow belly. Any kind of meat will pleasure us considerable. Bunch of nuts. Well, you can send them along. I'll tell you right now, the critters will get the bulk of them. Now tell me something we can do for you, honey. Do what? Hello? I declare, Jed, I never knowed anybody could turn nasty quicker than her.
I wonder what set her off.
Hard to tell, Jed. A generous woman like her probably gets took advantage of a lot. And tired to boot, I reckon.
Uncle Jed, I can't learn this dumb old dog to fetch his stick.
Well, Duke ain't a bunch of wasted time chasing a piece of wood. He's a hunting dog.
Well, can I take him hunting then? I'd like to see him chase something.
Praise be. That's an idea that might put some fresh meat on our table.
All right, boy. It makes more sense than fetching the stick, especially the Duke.
You want to come along, Granny?
No, I better stay here and guard my kitchen.
Okay. Come on, Duke. Let's get the guns.
Guard your kitchen against who, Granny?
Against Ellie's critters, that's who. They's beginning to take over. Why, I can't hardly... That little rascal learned to open the icebox. Then limbs will last him a pickle pawpaws.
Oh, gee, thank goodness you're back. I didn't want to disturb you at the meeting, but your wife has been calling frantically.
Oh, that woman gets hysterical over nothing. What's it now?
Well, it seems there's a kangaroo in your backyard.
You see, the slightest little... What? What? A kangaroo? Where did it come from?
Australia. That's the only continent where...
Oh, I know that. How did it get in my backyard?
Well, your wife was rather incoherent, but Ravenswood said it's from the Second National Bank of Melbourne.
Second National Bank. Oh, that's where Gene Sandbloom was transferred to from... That explains his Christmas card.
May I share the humor of the situation, Chief?
Well, I sent him an alligator wallet, so he said he was going to send me a kangaroo pouch.
Kangaroo pouch? On the hop, as it were. Mr. Sandbloom does have a sense of humor.
Yes, we'll have the zoo pick it up. I'll call Margaret.
Mr. Drysdale's office? Oh, Ravenswood. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Good, I'll tell Mr. Drysdale. Oh, and don't worry about the kangaroo. The zoo will take care of it. Right. Cheerio. Ravenswood has your wife under sedation, and she's resting comfortably.
Oh, good.
Here we are. A bit of mutton and Yorkshire pudding should hit the spot. You may be from down under, but we're all part of the empire. Oh, Brett. The zoo must have already come for you.
Oh, I'm gonna cook up a rabbit stew. Soon as Jethro shoots me one or two, then we'll all sit down to the table and we'll eat and we'll eat.
How's it going, Granny?
Kid, did Jethro leave to go hunting yet?
Yep.
Well, he needn't have bothered. There's a jackrabbit out that high. Now, you hold on, Jed Clampett. I tell you, I ain't touched a drop. And there is a giant jackrabbit out in our backyard, and it is this high.
Granny, you and me has seen some good-sized jacks in our day, but not 5 foot tall.
Kid, there's a lot of things we never seen back home that we are seeing out here. And that's one of them. A piano playing, icebox opener, paw pilfered ape.
All right, Granny. I'll go take a look at your jackrabbit.
Come on, you can see for yourself. He can jump over this house, I tell you, in one hop.
Whereabouts is he?
I don't know. But sure as I live and breathe, he was sitting right there, 5 foot tall and looking me in the eye.
5 foot tall setting, was he?
Yes, he was. Where did that jackrabbit go?
Well, why don't you look out front? Maybe he hopped over the house, just like you said.
You think I'm talking nonsense, but you'll see, because I'll find him.
What's all shouting about, Granny?
Nothing. Don't tell her, Jed. I don't want her making a pet out of all that meat. Let me go in the kitchen and get out my biggest pot and start peeling taters. Lots of them. Here, Jack. Here, Jack. Here, Jack.
Who's Jack, Paul?
Never mind, Ellie. Just try to keep your critters from pestering Granny. You got her so upset she's got into her jug, and now she's seeing visions.
What kind of visions?
Well, I reckon it's all right to tell you. Granny thinks she's seen a 5 foot jackrabbit.
Howdy, Mr. Jackrabbit. The weather's turned off real nice, ain't it? There's some mighty fine clover out there on the lawn if you want to fatten up. I mean, if you're hungry. Don't you go away. There's somebody I want you to meet. I'll be right back. Jed, come a running. I found him. Come quick. jackrabbit.
I bet you did.
He's right out front. Come on, I'll show him to you.
Maybe you better lay down a spell.
No, he'll get away again.
All right, I'll take a look.
You see him, Jed? I lost my glasses. But he must be out there somewhere.
Well, yeah, I see him.
Is he out on the lawn eating clover?
Great big old pink jackrabbit.
Pink!
Now, don't get upset. There's other colors, too. There's a blue one. There's a green one. Here comes one with purple polka dots.
I wish I could see him.
What's that you say, Mr. Jackrabbit? All right, I'll tell her. He says he thinks you ought to go in and lay down.
Yeah, I think I better have Jed.
Howdy, Miss Jane.
Jethro! And you've got a wonderful surprise. But why do you look so worried, noble beast?
Because I can't find no good hunting place, that's why. And Granny gave the strict orders to bring home some meat.
Oh, Jethro, food should never be a problem to people of your means. There are markets, supermarkets, caterers.
Uncle Jed called that there Beverly caterer. He got mean-mouthed something awful.
Mean-mouthed?
Yeah. He says she's the nastiest tempered woman that ever answered a telephone.
Well, Mr. Drysdale shall hear this. The bank has a substantial interest in Beverly caterers. You wait here. Hello, Beverly caterers. One moment, please.
Hello. Have you spoken to a Mr. Jed Clampett today? What? Now, just a minute, young lady. What is your name? What do you mean, put and tame? Now, you put Mr. Tinsman on the phone and tell him it's Milburn Drysdale calling. Well, the nastiest tempered young woman I ever spoke to.
Jed, come quick. He's back again. He went outside there. Go look quick, Jed.
Who's that, Granny?
The giant jackrabbit.
Oh, him again. All right, where's the jug?
What jug?
The jug that rabbit keeps coming out of. The jug gave you that headache.
I ain't touched the jug. I busted my head running into them curtains.
Yeah, sure. They'll do it all right.
I gotta catch that giant jackrabbit. Where's my shotgun?
Well, Jethro's got it out hunting.
Well, then we gotta catch a snare and put a snare out for him.
Granny, wouldn't you rather lay back down and let me bring you a nice big cup of black coffee?
Now, I'm gonna catch that big giant jackrabbit whether you help me or not, and I don't care.
I'll help you.
All right. Now, you get me a nice big stout rope and put some bait in the snare.
Yeah, take about 24 carrots for a rabbit that size.
Now you're thinking straight.
Yeah. Just took me a while.
Jethro.
The restitution is about to be made.
Yes. Now, give your Uncle Jed a message for
Tell
me.
him that the young woman who was so rude on the telephone will arrive in person to offer her abject apologies.
Yes. And tell Granny she needn't worry about food.
The young lady will also bring with her a truck full of delicious piping hot viands and an assortment of tasty beverages, all of which will be offered at your pleasure.
Yes. Have I anything else to say, Miss Hathaway?
No, Chief, I think you've said it all.
That sure is going to make Uncle Jed and Granny happy. Thank you, Mr. Drysdale.
Not at all. Glad to do it.
Now, let's see. If I was to tie another rope onto the bottom of that limb, pull it down, and then take my loop and put some carrots in it. Howdy, Mr. Jackrabbit. Would you like to step into my kitchen? You ain't gonna get away from me again, I can tell you that. Now, are you gonna come peaceable, or do I have to take you by force?
Quieten down, Granny. What's the matter now?
The giant jackrabbit. I had him cornered, but he fist-fought me.
Fist fought you.
Yes, he did. Now you go outside and belt him upside the jaw.
Granny, where are you hiding them jugs?
Oh, I'm gonna cook up a rabbit stew, and one giant rabbit will pour this
Hey, Granny, you don't have to do no cooking. Like I said, that there Beverly Caterers is gonna bring over a whole truckload of viands and beverages.
I ain't depending on nobody with a temper as bad as her. Besides, I don't need her viands. For the next couple of weeks, we're gonna be eating high on the rabbit.
Well, where'd you get all the rabbits?
One rabbit, Jethro.
One rabbit? He must be a whopper.
Remember those big mountain jacks we used to see back home?
Yeah?
I seen me a jackrabbit that could put a pair of them in his pocket.
In his pocket?
Sure. He stands 5 feet tall and he has a pocket, right? You don't believe me, do you?
Oh, yes, I do, Granny.
No, you don't.
Oh, Granny, I sure I do.
No, you don't.
All right, I don't believe you.
How dare you call me a liar?
Mr. Tinsman, do I have to face Mr. Clampett all by myself?
Yes, you do. You're the one who insulted him on the phone. And you're the one he'll expect an apology from.
But he talked like a nut.
Miss Billington, a man as rich as Mr. Clampett may talk like an eccentric, but never like a nut.
I sure hope he'll forgive me.
He'll forgive you. If he's anywhere between 15 and 95, he'll forgive you. I'll take the food round to the kitchen.
Is Mr. Clampett at home?
I'm Jed Clampett. Come right in. This little fella don't say much, but he's right smart.
Mr. Clampett, I'm here to apologize about the way I spoke to you on the telephone earlier today.
Oh, you're, Beverly Caterers.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're a deal younger than I figured. He prettier, too.
Thank you. I'm awfully sorry about losing my temper when you called.
Oh, now, I understand. Woman works hard all day cooking, doing for others. Young'un's hanging on her apron, and she gets a mite waspish. And you not having a husband to help.
Yes, that's right. I don't have a husband.
How many young'uns you got?
Young'uns?
Helping you with the cooking and fetching over to your place.
Oh, help. Well, let's see. 7.
7? Well, you must be from our part of the country. Got started young, didn't you? Well, come on. Granny will be wanting to meet you. She's out in the kitchen.
I gotcha, you big overgrown rascal. Now you're coming into the house to show you to Jed. And then you're going into the stew. That's where you're going.
Oh, that's Mr. Tinsman at the back door. He's my boss.
Come in, come in. I'm Jed Clampett.
A real pleasure, Mr. Clampett. I'm Bill Tinsman. I hope everything has been straightened out, and the Beverly Caterers will always be welcome in your home.
Why, you bet you're lying. This is a mighty fine young woman. She says you're her boss.
That is right. I own Beverly Caterers.
What dickens you say? Can you do that out here?
Why, of course. Mr. Drysdale holds a small mortgage, but as soon as that's paid off, she's all mine.
Now, that don't take the ham off the hog.
Now, Jed, you can see I ain't been at no jug.
Now, these folks is Beverly Caterers and Bill Tinsman. These are the ones that does all the cooking.
I hope we can cook for you, Granny.
You can commence with this one. I caught him, now you can cook him. Why, you little varmint, you untied my giant jackrabbit.
Giant jackrabbit?
Yes, my giant jackrabbit. That's what I wanted you to cook for me. He stands about 5 foot tall, has brown eyes, and a pocket right here. Now, don't you go away. I'll go get him for you.
We'll be back directly. You all go in the parlor and let the little fella play piano for you.
You say eccentric? I still say nuts.
I say you're right. Let's get out of here.
I can't understand it. He was free. Why should he return?
Something must have frightened him.
I'll say, if he prefers his crate to freedom.
Yes, but what could it have been?
Hello, over there.
Yes, Granny, what is it?
You see anything of a jackrabbit?
No, we haven't.
You won't find any jackrabbits in Beverly Hills, Granny.
I'll telephone the zoo, sir.
I say there's a giant jackrabbit around here someplace, and I'm gonna find him if it's the last thing I ever do.
Sure you are, Granny. Now, come in, lay down, and I'm gonna get that nice Beverly Caters to make a poultice for your head.
Granny, you caught something in your snare.
See, Jed wanted to tell you.
What'd she catch, Ellie?
Jethro!
Hey, Uncle Jed! Put me down! Uncle Jed!
Jed, you in there, you old mountain goat? Hey! Hey, Jed!
Dog, if that don't sound like old Leif Crick from back home.
It does for a fact. What do you suppose that no account wants around here?
We'll soon find out.
Jed, doggone it, you come out here and let me in.
Leif!
Jed!
Well, this is a surprise.
Granny, you little old possum, you! She ain't changed a bit, has she, Jed, huh? No bigger in a minute and scrappy as a banyan.
Hey, look who's here.
Howdy there, Mr. Crick. Sure is good to see you.
Ellie Mae Clapp, you're as pretty as a fistful of pink hollyhocks. Yes, sir, Jed, everybody always did say we had the two prettiest girls in the hill.
Hey, is Esbel with you?
You bet she is. Hey, where's Jethro?
He ain't home from school yet.
How about Maudie? Bring her along?
Oh, I had to leave my woman home to do the chores, Granny. Roof needed patching, well caved in, had to be dug out, mule needed chewing, lots of little things like that. You know, we just poor gully jumpers. We don't roost high on a hill like you folks.
Esbel ain't out in the car, nor Mrs. Crick neither.
I had to leave my woman to home, Ellie Mae. And Essie Bell, she's over at the motel unpacking and purdying herself up.
Motel?
Well, Leif, we got plenty of room to take care of you and Essie Bell right here.
Well, now, Jed, you know I ain't one to trade on a friendship. Of course, after Jethro and Essie Bell's proper hitched, then we're gonna be wanting to live near our kinfolk.
Hitched?
Jethro and Essie Bell?
You mean you don't know what that boy's been up to?
No, I can't say as I do, Leif.
And we's got some talking to do, man to man.
Come on, Ellie, we'll make a pot of coffee.
Mr. Crick.
Yes, sir, you got a couple of fine women folk there. I reckon you're as proud of them as I am of mine.
I reckon.
I reckon you'd want to see right done by Ellie Mae just the same as I'd want to see right done by Essie Bell.
I reckon.
I reckon you wouldn't want no young man playing fast and loose with her feelings.
I reckon.
I reckon the man's daughter's
All
just
right,
about
Leif, supposing you stop blowing on the fur and get to the hide, what are you trying to say?
Well, don't come easy saying what I got to.
Well, let's go in and sit down and give it a try.
You got yourself a regular palace here. You got... I better take off my cloth I don't want to get you fancy coffee, old dude.
Just leave everything on, Leif, and sit down and speak your piece.
Oh, my. Sure do beat sitting on the stump now, don't it? I guess you got this here chair stuffed full of money, huh, Jed? Huh?
Yeah, Leif. Now, about Jethro and Essie Bell.
Well, to speak plain out, your Jethro done grabbed a hold to my Essie Bell's heart.
I don't recall Jethro mentioning Essie Bell's name since way last summer when she won that beauty contest.
That's when it happened.
What happened?
This happened. Love letters wrote by your Jethro to my Essie Bell.
Love letter?
Steaming hot love letters.
Someday I gotta have a long talk with that boy. Let me see the letters.
Jeb, I hadn't better. You having a purty, sweet, innocent young daughter of your own, you might just anger up to the point where you'd hurt that boy.
Jethro got out of line, did he?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it getting out of line, providing his intentions is honorable.
These letters was wrote way last summer. How come you just getting here?
Well, now, I ain't a wallering in money like you, Jeff. I had to scrimp and save to get to where I could afford to make the trip. Why, I'm a poor man. Only treasure I got's my little Isabel.
All right, Leif. Not knowing what Jethro wrote, it's hard for me to speak. But I know he'll want to do the right thing, and I'll see that he does.
Spoke like a true hillman. Why, I said to Morty before I left, I said, dry your eyes, Morty. Jed Clampett's a man of honor. I says he'll see that Jethro does the right thing by our Isabel.
And I will, too, Leif. You can count on it.
Yes, sir, Jed, you sure got yourself a palace.
I expect you got more money than a pig has grunts.
We's eating regular.
I expect a generous man like you's aiming to settle a heap of that money on Jethro when he gets married. Him being almost like a son to you and all.
Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, Leif Crick. I want to hear Jethro's side of this first.
Oh, you're a good man, Jed. Fair.
Like I says to Isabel, I said, dry your eyes, honey. Jed Clampett's a fair man. He's going to do the fair thing. He's going to see you married fair and proper to Jethro.
And like I said to you, Leif,
Whoever's driving that truck's mighty shy on brains.
That's Jethro.
Fine boy.
Just go meet Daddy, boy.
Jethro, Leif here says that last summer you wrote some love letters to his daughter, Isabel.
Love letters?
Why, it ain't nothing to be ashamed of, son. Most natural thing in the world for a handsome boy like you to write letters to a beautiful girl like Isabel. Them was fine letters, too. You should be proud on them.
Well, thank you. Well, how come she never answered them?
Well, son, right after she won that beauty contest, she must have got hundreds of letters like yours, proposing marriage and things. Well, it took her a while
Now,
to...
hold on, Leif. Jethro, did you propose marriage in them letters?
Oh, let me think.
Well, it ain't nothing to be ashamed of, son. Most natural thing in the world for a handsome boy like you.
I'll give him a chance to think, Leif. It ain't something comes easy to him.
Love ain't nothing you think about. Love comes from the heart.
He never said he was in love with Isabel.
Well, he always was. You remember when you used to tote her books home from school? Old Mel Pratt, he took them away from you and beat you up?
Yeah, but he was twice as big as me.
Yeah, but if you was to marry Isabel now, that would sure leave old Mel Pratt drinking from an empty jug.
Yeah? Yeah.
It's something you have to decide about right now.
Well, of course you don't. You just think on it for a while. Think about how Isabel's the prettiest girl in the hills.
Yeah?
Best dancer, too.
Yeah?
How much you'd like to marry her.
Yeah!
Take on, son.
Now, wait a minute, Jethro. Think what you're doing. You sure you're ready to support a wife? Could be you'd have to quit school.
Well, hot diggity dog, then I'm ready.
I'll bring Isabel over for supper. But first you go down to one of them fancy Beverly Hills jewelry stores and you pick out a great big diamond ring.
All right, and while I'm there, I'll get something for Isabel, too.
I'll see you later, son.
Bye-bye, Missy. Bye-bye, Daddy Crick. I'm gonna get married.
Someday I should have had a long talk with that boy.
Just a moment, please. I'm sure you must be in the wrong place.
Is this a jewelry store?
Well, yes, but we sell only the very finest and most expensive pieces. I suggest you try a notion store.
Jethro done got the notion what he needs now is a ring.
Hey, Uncle Jed, here's some rings out here.
Yes, but please, now, I'm sure you...
Them red diamonds is purty.
Those are rubies.
Well, ask her if she wants to sell one.
Madam, the ruby I'm referring to is not a lady.
How she got them rings is her own business. Just ask her if she wants to sell one.
Yes, you will understand how out of place you are
when I tell you that no ring in this case sells for less than $10,000. Now, wouldn't you like to look elsewhere?
Yeah, sure. It's where you keep the good stuff.
Security guard, please.
That's right, Paul. Mr. Drysdale said we should always ask for the best.
Did I hear you mention the name Drysdale?
Yes, sir.
Milburn Drysdale?
Yes, sir.
He's our next-door neighbor.
He keeps Jed's $35 million in his bank.
Granny, I ain't sure it's 35 million no more. Might be close to 40 by now.
You got the phone in your hand. Call up Mr. Drysdale and see who's closer, Jed or me.
Stand by till I make one call. Things have been a little slow since Christmas.
Quiet in place, huh, Isabel?
I'll say. Gee, Paul, this is just about the biggest place I ever did see.
Yes, sir, Isabel. You did a mighty wise thing when you decided to marry up with Jethro.
I didn't decide, Paul, you did. I didn't even answer his letters.
Well, it was a good thing I did discover those letters. You'd have been married to that no-account Mel Pratt.
Mel Pratt ain't a no account. He's a good, strong, hard-working boy.
You gotta learn to keep your mouth shut, girl. You gotta learn to keep your mouth shut, especially when there's any food around. I still can't figure out where you found victuals enough to put on all that weight since last summer.
Mel Pratt's been feeding me. He wanted me to get good and strong so I could help him clear that acre of land.
That ain't land, girl. That's rocks. If you want to marry up with a boy that's got an acre of rocks, you should at least have them cut and piled up into a fine palace like this one.
But Mel Pratt loves me, and I love him.
I don't want to hear that name no more, Isabel. You're gonna marry into the lap of luxury, girl. You're gonna wear fine clothes and jewels. You're gonna have servants to wait on your hand and foot. You're gonna have a butler running ahead of you, opening doors, all kinds of things like that.
Oh, look at that!
Stay right here now, Isabel. You don't want him to think we ain't never seen a butler before, do you?
I do hope you'll tell Mr. Drysdale how well we have treated you here. Ah, here we are. Now, this is the engagement ring.
Thank you.
You might, in a subtle way, of course, let the bride know that she is getting 10 perfect carats.
Well, that's mighty nice of you.
Nice, my foot. After the money you spent, he could at least send her a smoked ham.
And here are Madame's lovely necklace and earrings.
How many carats did I get?
About 50. But of course, they're not perfect.
Well, in that case, I'll take turnips.
And for Mademoiselle, this beautiful diamond bracelet.
Do I get some carrots, too?
Oh, yes, indeed. About 30.
You sure are generous with your vegetables.
So are you, sir. You're going to be sending me a lot of cabbage.
I am?
Yes. Cabbage is money.
Well, your store, but I'll be dogged if I see how you stay in business. Looks like Leif and Essie Bell is here.
Yee-hoo! I want to see my sweetie.
Now, Jethro, you get a hold of yourself. I don't want you running in there and picking up that little girl and scaring her half to death.
Yes, sir.
You put the truck away. I'll wait for you here. We'll all go in together like a proper family order at a time like this.
Yes, sir, Uncle Jed.
Don't be too hard on him, Jed. Now that I think back, he must be desperate in love.
What makes you think so?
For the past week, he ain't at his supper.
For Jethro, that's desperate. That boy'll eat anything that don't bite him first.
Who's that a-coming, Paul?
Looks like that Beverly Caterers.
Yeah, the young widow that cooks for folks.
Hi, is Jethro ready?
Ready for what, ma'am?
For our regular date?
Howdy, Mary. It sure is good to see you. You're right on time. Let's go.
Wait a minute, boy. You got a date with this girl?
Yes, sir, Uncle Jed. Well, every day after work, she picks me up, and we drive up into the hills and park and watch the sun go down. Then you know what we do?
Well, it may go in the house. What do you do, boy?
Well, then we climb into the back of the truck and eat all the victuals that's left.
No wonder he ain't been eating his supper.
I've got your favorite today, Jethro. Swedish meatballs.
Jethro, the girl you're gonna marry is waiting in the house. You can't go running off with her and leave Essie Bell.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Marion, you reckon there's enough meatballs in the truck for the three of us?
Forget it.
Huh? Here's your blushing bride. Come give her a big hug.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm looking for my sweet little old Essie Bell Crick from back home.
I'm right here, Jethro.
Jethro, son, this here's Essie Bell.
Your Essie Bell Crick?
Yes, Jethro.
Marion!
Essie Bell, I just can't stand to watch you suffer. Ain't there anything I can do?
Yes. Would you get me another pie out of the icebox?
There you are.
Thank you. Want some?
No, not right now. You don't appear to be too unhappy.
Oh, heck no. I like pumpkin pie as well as apple.
I mean, how about Jethro running off?
Mr. Clampett, if I told you something, would you promise not to tell Pa that I told? 'Cause he told me not to tell you. And if you tell him I told, well, there just ain't no telling what he might do.
Near as I can sort out the tails and the toes, I think I can promise.
It ain't Jethro I'm in love with. It's big old Mel Pratt back home.
Well, now, tell me more of what your pa told you not to tell.
Let's have no more of this running after other girls. Ain't no boy can love two girls.
That leaves Essie Bell out. She's about 2 girls and a half.
Well, mind your tongue, Jethro. You take a girl for better or worse when you marry her.
Yeah, but she got worse before I got married.
Picture me, Leif. I'll look after Essie Bell.
Come on, boy. Let's start talking about this wedding.
Well, Mr. Crick.
You call me daddy now you're marrying up with my daughter.
But, Mr. Crick, I don't think I want to get married to nobody. I want to finish the 6th grade so I can be a brain surgeon.
You should have started thinking about that before you wrote Essie Bell them hot, steaming letters full of love talk.
I don't remember no love talk.
You don't, huh? Now, just how'd you start them letters?
Dear Essie Bell.
Well, ain't that love talk, calling a woman dear?
It is. I'm in trouble with a lot of women. Men, too.
Well, Leif, I see you fetched him back all right. Now, Jethro, you get upstairs and get packed for your honeymoon.
Oh, but Uncle Jed, I don't want
Oh, get up there and do like I tell you.
Oh, yes, sir.
You're a good man, Jed. Fair.
I try to be. What do you think of my giving Jethro and Essie Bell my house for a wedding present?
Oh, that is fair. That is really what you call fair.
Of course, it's just a little 2-room place, but they'll make out.
well, I ain't the best at counting, Jed, but I done towed up 12 rooms since I've been here.
Oh, I ain't talking about this place. I'm giving them my little shack back in the hill.
Back to home?
Yeah, there's a half-acre land goes with it. Of course, it's mostly rocks and stumps, but a couple of strong young'uns like Jethro and Essie Bell have that thing cleared in 4 or 5 years.
Is that all you're gonna give them?
Oh, shucks, no. Essie Bell, fetch in that other wedding present I give you.
Coming, Daddy Clampett.
That's better. I always said you was a generous man. Why, just before I left home, I said to Marty, I said, why, Jed Clampett's a generous man. Why, there's just no telling what he... What are you doing with him?
Daddy Clampett gave him to Jethro and me to take home with us.
You can't take him home with you. Why, folks is liable to think he's my grandson.
Well, you could tell him he's a monkey. That ought to clear it up, leastwise for some folks.
Jed, you mean you ain't gonna give the young'uns no money?
Oh, you bet I am. Here you are, Essie Bell. Here's a brand new penny for you to nail up over your cabin door. Ain't nothing brings you luck like a new penny.
Thank you, Daddy Clampett. Look, Pa, ain't it shiny?
You get that thing out of here. Why, you'd be better off marrying that Mel Pratt. He's got a whole acre and a nice cabin, and he's got a sow with a litter of pigs.
Now, just a minute there, Leif. Essie Bell was promised to Jethro. While we're on that subject, let's have a look at her dowry.
I ain't got no dowry, Daddy Clampett.
Here, you don't want Jethro marrying no girl without a dowry. Now, Mel Pratt, he don't care. He'll take a dowry or no dowry.
How soon's the wedding? I'm all ready to dance.
There ain't gonna be no wedding, Granny. I'm taking my Essie out of here. Come on, Essie Bell.
Now, just a doggone minute. I got all dressed up to have a wedding dance. Now, let's have it.
Well, she's gonna marry Mel Pratt.
Don't bother me with details. Let's get on with the wedding dance.
I sure do love my wedding presents from the Clampetts, Pa, don't you?
For a fact, I do, daughter. Always said you was a generous man, Jed.
Forget it, Leif. All's going... You better learn Skipper some table manners or Granny ain't gonna let him eat in her kitchen.
I'd a heap rather have him eating in my kitchen than that big, overgrown, lazy, good-for-nothing Leif Crick.
Now, Granny, don't start on Leif again. He's gone. He's on his way back to the hill.
He don't live in the hills. He lives in the gully. And it's his kind that give the hill people a bad name.
He's on his way back to the gully and his daughter with him. Now, let's forget him.
Granny, don't get yourself all angered up.
Who's angered up?
You are, because that Leif Crick tried to get you to marry his daughter. Ain't that right?
Shucks, no. They's both gone back home.
I'm the only one that has the gumption to hold a grudge. It's a sorry thing when a poor old stove-up, wore-out, gray-haired old granny has to do all the grudge holding in the family.
Well, leave go of it, Granny. Leif is gone, and you can't start a fire without you got two sticks to rub together.
You calling me a stick?
Start in on me. Here. Have some of this scalding hot coffee. It'll cool you down.
Here we are, Mr. Crick.
Ma'am, I just don't know how to thank you. A fine, beautiful young city girl like you giving a poor old hound dog like me a ride in your beautiful automobile?
Nonsense, Mr. Crick. The moment you told me that you were Mr. Clampett's nearest and dearest friend...
Like that, Jed and me. 2 peas in a pod. Always was.
I'd be so happy that you're staying over.
Missing my own daughter's wedding to do it. But I says to myself, I says, Leif, I says, if you can pleasure Jed and Granny and them young'uns even that itty-bitty bit by staying over here like they begged you to, you just gotta forget your own pleasure.
Just like Mr. Clampett, always thinking of others.
Like that, Jed and me. 2 birds and a mule's tail. Always was.
I wish I could stay and see this joyous reunion between 2 old friends, but I must be getting back to the bank.
Yeah. You take good care of old Jed's money, you hear? You keep a tight hold on it now.
Don't you worry, it's safe.
That's comforting to know.
It's comforting to know that Mr. Clampett has friends like you. I hope you can stay for a while.
I'm going to try my best. You got my word.
Skipper and me'll be back to help you with the dishes,
Help me with the dishes, and that's what you get when you deal with those gully people. Leif Crick, S.E.L. I'll tell you, I've seen some things. That's the way it is. I never won actually trash.
What you got there, Skipper? Mr. Crick.
You speak to me, boy.
That was late exposed, Mr. Crick.
Hi there, Ellie. I get to my feet, honey, only I'm so tired from walking all the way up here.
Well, I thought you went back home for Isabel's wedding.
Oh, Ellie, darling, promise me you never gonna treat your pa the way that girl treated me.
What did she do?
Went away and left me stranded, without no car, no money, no food, all sick and starving.
We got plenty of food, and Granny will doctor you back to health.
No, honey. I don't want to burden nobody, but I would like to see your pa's face just one more time before I pass on to my reward. Now, maybe if you was to help me, I could get to my feet and make my way to the table. I mean, to wherever your pa is.
Well, he's in the kitchen.
Good.
I am cooking grits and jowls. Billy boy, Billy boy. I am cooking grits and jowls. Charming Billy. And my victuals will be safe now that Ree is rid of Leif. He's a good for nothing, low down, lazy varmint.
Hello, dear sweet little old granny.
He's back and drunk to boot.
What's the matter, Granny?
It's Leif Crick. That good-for-nothing, low-down, lazy, victual-stealing, liquor-drinking gully jumper.
Granny, I thought you'd blow it off all that steam.
I did, but he's back and I'm commencing to boil again.
Leif is back?
Yes, but not for long. Give me that axe.
Now, Granny.
Dear old friend, I didn't have it in mind to bother you none, but Ellie Mae found me and forced me to come in and have some victuals to help me get my strength back.
Well, you're always welcome at our table, Leif.
Oh, no. I ain't looking for no handout. Leif Crick ain't one to be asking for charity. No, sirree. Leif Crick wants to work for what he gets.
I didn't know there was two Leif Cricks.
Well, ain't no call for you to work, Leif, but if it make you feel any better, here's the axe. You can help Jethro yonder cut some wood.
I'd be glad to. I'd be proud to do it, but I think first I'll change into my work clothes. I wouldn't want to get my Sunday go-to-meeting suit all mussed up.
That ain't a bad hour's work, Jethro.
I'll say it ain't. Can we stop for victuals now, Uncle Jed?
Quick as Leif gets through eating, Granny's feeding him first.
Well, I thought Granny didn't like him.
Well, it ain't that. It's just that it's dangerous for other folks to sit at a small table with Leif when he's eating.
Does swing his knife and fork around right lively.
Like a snare drummer at a Possum Day parade.
I'm going, Granny. I'm going. Granny, my poor old cripple knee let me.
What crippled your knee?
Well, the rheumatiz, Granny. Now, if you was to give me a little bit of your rheumatiz, I'm going.
Move on.
Well, Leif, you ready to go to work, are you?
Can't hardly wait to sail into it, Jet. Got my working clothes on now.
You notice the only place his working clothes is patched, don't you?
Now, Granny. Maybe he's turned over a new leaf.
Not unless there's food under it.
What you got in the pan?
Nothing. I was using it to dip grits and jowls for Leif. I couldn't keep ahead of him with a spoon.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that one man could work like that.
This one can. He's another Jed Clampett.
Howdy, Miss Hathaway, ma'am. I'm afraid you caught me resting a bit.
Well, you deserved a rest. Why, from my place, it sounded like there were 3 or 4 men over here, sawing, chopping, splitting logs.
Well, that's just the way I work, sir.
Oh, Mr. Crick, permit me to introduce Mr. Clampett's next-door neighbor and the president of our bank, Mr. Drysdale.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Crick.
I ain't good enough to shake the hand of no bank president, sir.
Now, don't be ridiculous. I'd be honored to shake your hand.
It's all rough and full of calluses from working every day from sunup to sundown.
By George. You and Jed Clampett are certainly cast from the same mold.
Is that like this, Mr. Drysdale?
2 peas in a pod.
2 bears and a mule's tail. Oh, well, if you gentlemen will excuse me, I'll run along and say hello to Jethro.
Sit down, man. You must be exhausted.
Shucks no, Mr. Banker. The way I work, I could go on like this for days. Of course, it is beginning to catch up with me a mite. I ain't a young fella like you.
Oh, I'm not so young.
Well, according to Jed, you are. His exact words to me, he says, now, you be sure and speak to young Mr. Drysdale about that job.
Job?
Doggone it, I wasn't going to let that slip out. I was bound and determined not to. Well, you just forget it, Mr. Banker. It's Jed's idea, not mine.
No, tell me all about it. Any idea of Jed Clampett's? I want to hear.
Well, Jed, he had this notion that you could hire me to watch his money for him down to your bank.
Oh, you mean like a guard or a night watchman?
Night watchman. That sounds like it.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Having Leif Crick around will lead to nothing but trouble.
You're right, Granny.
That's a fact.
Yes, ma'am.
I know the Cricks better than any of you. I knew his pa and his pa before him. And the 3 of them put together ain't worth the powder it would take to blow them up.
You're right, Granny.
That's a fact.
Yes, ma'am.
Leif Crick is all talk. And tongue bigger than a hay wagon. Why, he'd mealy-mouth you out of your eye teeth and sell them back to you.
You're right, Granny.
That's a fact.
Yes, ma'am.
When it comes to Leif Crick, I know what I'm talking about. And it won't do any good to argue with me.
You're right. Let's all quit arguing with Granny so as we can eat.
How can I dish the victuals if you don't hold your plates up?
You're right.
That's a fact.
Yes, ma'am.
There you are. I've just left your friend Leif Crick. What a hard-working, industrious, wonderful man he is.
What did you say?
Then it's settled. If Jed Clampett wants you as a night watchman at my bank, a night watchman you are.
If you put it that way, I'm afraid I can't take the job.
Oh, why not?
Well, it makes me feel like I'd treat a possum with Jed's hound.
Oh, of course, I see your point. You don't want to feel, what's the word, beholden to Jed, eh?
That's right, Mr. Drysdale. I'm a poor man. I'm as rough as a cob and plain as dirt, but I got my pride.
You are like Mr. Clampett.
Like that, Jed and me. 2 berries on a bush, all as was.
All right. I'll say it was my idea to hire you. Now, when do you want to start to work?
How about tonight?
Can you get some rest?
Rest? What's that?
Mr. Crick, men like you are few and far between.
Thank you, boss.
I tell you, Granny, the man is a veritable one-man sawmill. Cutting, chopping, splitting logs.
You see, Granny, old Leif has changed.
Well, if he has, I'm going to jump in that pond with all of my clothes on.
In a bank, at night, with a gun and $40 million. Yahoo! Yahoo!
See, Granny? I told you so.
Yahoo!
I dog you, Granny. She was right. Granny. Granny always was a woman of her word. Want me to fetch you a jug of rheumatism medicine?
Oh, never mind. I can't believe it. I seen it, but I can't believe it. Leif Crick swinging an axe, splitting wood.
You ain't heard the best part, Granny. Old Leif done got himself a job.
A job. Leif Crick?
That's right.
I've changed my mind. Fetch my jug.
Yes, sir. Old Leif's going to work down to Mr. Drysdale's bank.
The bank where you got your money?
That's right.
Jed, Turning a rascal loose like that in a bank is like putting a hungry fox in a hen house.
Give the man a chance, Granny. Maybe it's a good thing for Leif to learn a trade. At least now folks will know what kind of work he's out of. Good. Want me to fetch your drinking thimble?
No. This calls for a cool head and warm feet.
All ready to go, Mr. Crick.
I sure do appreciate you carrying me to the bank, boy.
Glad to do it. If I stayed here, I'd have to dig a hole under the alum tree for Granny. And that there's hard work. I mean, it's W-O-R-K. Granny told me never to say that word around you. Gets you to cussing.
Jethro, you shouldn't do work like digging a hole. Fine, handsome boy like you.
Shucks, it's no harder than cutting wood or plowing or clearing stumps.
You ought to get yourself married, son. Then you wouldn't have to do woman's work.
Yeah.
Make yourself comfortable, Mr. Crick. Mr. Drysdale will be right back.
Thank you, ma'am. My, this must be the finest, most beautiful office in all the world.
Oh, I'd hardly say that.
Well, I reckon it must be you, ma'am. Pretty girl always makes a room pretty.
Mr. Crick, you devil.
So this is where you keep old Jed's money, is it?
Yes, the Commerce Bank is very proud to be the guardian of the fortune belonging to your nearest and dearest friend.
Like that, Jed and me. 2 drips of dew, all as was.
Well, make yourself at home. I'll just have a few words with Jethro.
Oh, fine boy, Jethro.
Yes.
Looking for a wife. You and him would make a mighty handsome couple. Where blue blazes do they keep Jed's money?
Good to see you, Jethro. Mr. Crick, what are you doing?
Giving thanks, Mr. Drysdale, sir. Just giving thanks for a fine, generous, upstanding young man like yourself letting a poor old razorback like me work in his fine bank looking after the money of his nearest and dearest friend.
Wait, Crick. You're a good man. Jed Clampett is wealthy in more ways than one.
He is?
Yes. A friend like you is worth more than $1 million.
Oh, I do hope to be, sir. I do hope to be.
Where is that no-account, overgrown, big, lazy...
Granny, I told you Leif has got a job.
I'm talking about Jethro. He promised to commence to dig me a root cellar.
Well, Jethro is taking Leif to work. I'm going to start the root cellar for you.
One bad apple will spoil the barrel. You mark my words. That Leif is going to turn those young'uns into a no-account like himself.
Granny, Skipper and me's ready to help dig your root cellar. Ain't we, Skipper? Come on, Skip, let's go.
Don't look like them two a spoiled man.
Give him time.
Leif ain't going to be around to do much spoiling. I bet you Mr. Drysdale's got him working to beat the band right now.
I didn't singe your whiskers, did I?
No, not a bit. It's the first time I ever tied into one of these. Is it all for me, or do I give you half?
No, I don't smoke them. Mr. Crick, would you like me to send for my barber?
Oh, no. I can smoke it by myself.
No, I thought you might want a shave and a haircut. My barber would be happy to come over here to my office and give you one.
You mean right while I'm a-setting here?
All I have to do is call him.
That sure is handy.
Yes, isn't it?
I'll just keep that in mind if I ever should need a shave and a haircut.
Yeah.
Well, right now, I'm anxious to get to work. That's the kind of a man I am. I'm not much of a one for sitting around.
Good.
What I have in mind for night watching old Jed's money is if you was to put it into some gunny sacks, I'd set on them sacks with my shotgun across my lap. Now, then you wouldn't have to worry at all. You could just go off someplace and sleep like a baby.
Mr. Crick, I'm afraid you have a slight misconception about the way we guard our money here at the bank. In the first place, Mr. Clampett's fortune isn't actually here.
It ain't.
No, most of it ain't. Isn't. And the money we do keep here is locked in a massive steel vault which cannot possibly be opened at night.
That kind of worries me, old Jed and me being like that.
Well, you can stop worrying. And Mr. Clampett knows his money is perfectly safe, and he knows he can get all he wants anytime he wants it.
And is all that, huh?
He doesn't even have to leave his house.
Well, my, that is handy. Oh, my, look at all that daylight out there. Why, I've got time to chop old Jed another cord of wood or two before sundown.
You, sir, are the hardest working man I have ever seen.
Habit of a lifetime, sir. Jethro, you out there?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Crick. Jethro thought you were staying here. He's gone home.
Oh, well, it's only 5 or 6 miles to old Jed's place. I guess I'll just run it. Good for my rheumatiz.
Oh, Mr. Crick, wait just a minute. Chief, may I drive him home?
Of course. Fantastic man. A human dynamo.
Yes, it was quite amusing. When the Clampetts first arrived, Granny insisted the entire fortune be changed into silver so it could be buried in the backyard.
What did you say?
Buried in the backyard?
I sure do thank you. You've been a great help to me. I'll be seeing you.
What a bundle of energy. A fine example for Jethro.
There you are, Jethro. Now get out there and commence digging your granny's root cellar.
But, Uncle Jed, Mr. Crick says I ain't supposed to do women's work.
See what I told you? The bad apple is commencing to spoil the barrel.
Jethro, you don't listen to what Mr. Crick tells you. You do what I tell you. Now get on out there. I'll join you in a minute with the shovel.
Yes, sir.
Here comes the wormy wine sap now. I'm gonna fetch my shotgun.
Jethro, stop your granny.
Yes, sir.
But what you fixing to do, Jed?
I was fixing to do a little digging out back yonder.
Well, I'll do it for you.
You could help if you're a mite.
No, I want to do it all myself.
I stopped her, Uncle Jed. Well, let's commence the digging under that big old elm out there.
Doggone it, Jethro. I want to do all the digging around here.
Leaf, the kind of digging that Granny wants done take one man all night.
Well, hard work never hurt nobody. I'll see you in the morning.
It's a miracle. A plumb miracle.
I said it last night and I'll say it again this morning. If that Leif Crick has dug me a root cellar, I'll jump back into the cement pond with an anvil in my arms.
I wouldn't say too much, Granny. Leif's been right full of surprises lately.
He's nothing but...
Seen enough, Granny?
Yep. Fetch the anvil.
We ain't got an anvil.
I was counting on that. Some coffee.
That's deep enough, Leif.